Good morning, guys, or good afternoon. We're gonna do some cones. The cones are really easy. I was debating on whether I should do them or not. I finally decided to do them for a few reasons. One, even though they're easy, they're very necessary for doing teeth and things like that. And two, I just need a little bit more time to get some supplies. So I need the weekend before we do the domes, the half domes, and possibly the spheres, which is going to take us maybe 2 classes, and then we'll move on to the project I discussed in class, which was the Koopa Troopa, or the Mario character. So as far as the cones are concerned, for this particular demonstration, I'm just going to use regular paper. It doesn't have to be typing paper, just grab any paper. And we're going to do about 6 of them. It's often tricky to try to get them the right size, but you could always trace your cone, your circle. So what you need to do is you pretty much just need to start off with a circle. If you don't know how to make a good circle, I'll show you a quick way. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. What you want to do is you want to set up a point where you can stabilize on the paper. So I'm using my pinky knuckle, and I'm just going to stabilize that, and then I'm going to turn the paper around. And that gives you a pretty good circle. So I'm just going to cut that out. And of course, the smaller you want the circle to be, the closer you should put the pencil to your knuckle or whatever you're using to stabilize. Like I said, it doesn't always work, but keep going till they kind of connect. Once you have something you like, and for the cones, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Once you have something you like or a circle that you like, cut it out. And beyond that, making the cone is really, really simple. So let me do that with these two. I'm going to ask you guys for 6 of them, 6 different sizes. I also want you to practice making these circles, because when it comes to the half dome, we're going to have to make circles as well. And it's more important, if you want to do something like a sphere, that the circles be the same size. And you'll see about that next week. So I'm just going to cut these out off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my circles are cut out. I suppose this is also a good time to show you guys a measuring technique that I've been using regularly with my 2D class. And we need to find the center of these things. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a pencil to find the center. How do you do that? Well, let me zoom in to show you. You can start just by guessing where the center is. So I'm going to guess that the center is right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to measure it with your pencil. How do you measure with your pencil? You use your pencil like this. You put the pencil at where the center mark is, and you pinch on the outside of the circle. And then you bring that up, and if your 2 spaces are the same, then that's the halfway point, or the middle, right? So I'm comparing this distance to this distance, and it just seems like I'm a little bit off. So I'm gonna just move it a little bit, and before I erase that second point, I'm just gonna measure it again. And that's also a little bit off. Well, this isn't a perfect circle. So I'm just going to try one more time. I'm going to put it right in the center of both of these. Make it a little bit bigger as well. And that feels good. So once you find your center, I'll show you the next step. Let me find the center here. So I believe, let's take a guess, the center is somewhere right there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this is also a good measuring technique when you're trying to measure symmetry of something that you've made. And if you want to make sure that both sides are the same, then this is a good way to check. I've already used this technique with the Koopa Troopa. Okay, once you've established where your center is, just get a pair of scissors and cut from anywhere all the way to the center. Pair of scissors, cut to the center, and you're just gonna fold this in on itself. And you could see how the cone starts to come together if you want a tighter cone, which is what I'm looking for in this lesson. Just make sure that it's tighter. Think of teeth when you're doing this. I don't want it to be like teeth. A toothy shape. So I think is one of the most common things that you guys will be using. Maybe, maybe not. So you are going to have a little bit, you know, coming out from the bottom. That's fine. Take your hot glue, put it right along that edge. Oh, this hot glue, I think it burned out a bit. Ooh, it's hot. Yeah, this hot glue is not pretty. Alright, either way, it's not pretty, but it is working. Hopefully the next bit is not that messy. So it is working, and there you go. You have your cone. Now let's make a bigger one. Hopefully the hot glue will be nicer to me this time. We're going to do the same thing, and we're just going to curl this in on itself until we get a nice pointy cone. Okay, hot glue gun. Let's see. I'm just gonna put a little bit, even though it's ugly. And that's how you get a cone. If you wanted to shape that, what you could do is stuff it with paper, maybe the leftover paper that you had, crush that up, and put that right in there. And if you wanted to, well, we want to keep it smooth for the most part, but this will let you turn it a little bit or give it some shape, and that looks more like a tooth at the end of the day, because you can actually give it a little bit of shape. Obviously you can't give it a shape. You can't give it a shape when it doesn't have the paper inside, but it's not as smooth now. So, you know, it's a bit of a sacrifice. The smoother one looks a bit nicer. So that's it, guys. I'll see you in class.